October 2025 marks one of the most significant turning points in the history of Australia's student visa system. For decades, Australia has welcomed millions of international students, giving them not just access to world-class education, but also a pathway to new opportunities and, for many, a permanent life in one of the most developed countries on Earth. But from October 2025, everything changes. New rules, new barriers, and new expectations have been announced. Rules that will decide who gets to enter Australia as a student, and who gets left behind. This isn't just an immigration update. It's a reality check. Families are investing their life savings. Students are dreaming of better futures. And yet, one small mistake in the application process could now mean rejection, delays, or even a ban. So today, in this detailed video, we'll break down the October 2025 update on Australia's student visa rules. We'll cover financial requirements, work limitations, the new genuine student test, rejection trends, and what all of this means for the future of international education in Australia. Stay tuned till the end, because I'll also share key advice to help you prepare for these changes and increase your chances of success. Why Australia is a top destination. Before we dive into the rules, let's pause for a moment and understand why Australia matters so much. For decades, Australia has been among the top 3 destinations worldwide for international students, competing directly with the USA and the UK. In 2025, there are more than 720,000 active international students living in Australia. That's nearly the size of a small city. Why do so many students pick Australia? World-class universities like University of Melbourne, Monash, ANU, and University of Sydney. Post-study work opportunities, which give students a chance to gain real-world experience. Pathways to permanent residency, making it more than just a temporary journey. And of course, Australia's reputation for safety, diversity, and high quality of life. But this growth also comes with pressure. With so many applications flooding the system, the government argues that the integrity of the student visa program is at risk. Officials say too many people were using student visas as a backdoor pathway to migration, without genuine study intentions. And that's why October 2025 is being called a reset moment. The new laws are meant to filter out the non-genuine students while keeping Australia attractive for serious scholars. October 2025 update. The major changes. So, what exactly has changed in October 2025? Let's go point by point. Keycap 1. Higher financial proof. Students now need to show bank statements that prove they can afford tuition, living expenses, and accommodation for at least 1 year. The living cost benchmark has increased to over $29,000 Australian dollars per year for a single student, significantly higher than before. Keycap 2. Stricter academic criteria. Long gaps, low grades, or weak English test scores are now major red flags. Case officers are being instructed to dig deeper into the academic background of applicants. Keycap 3. Work hour restrictions. The days of unlimited work are gone. Students can now work 24 hours per week during study periods, and full-time only during semester breaks. Keycap 4. Genuine student test, GST. This replaces the older Genuine Temporary Entrant, GTA, requirement. It's more interactive and may involve video interviews to check if the applicant is really motivated to study. Keycap 5. Priority processing and delays. Students applying for high-demand fields like healthcare, IT, and engineering may see faster approvals. Others could face longer wait times. Keycap 6. Tougher on agent fraud. Education agents involved in fake documentation or false promises are being blacklisted, and their students may also face rejections. In short, the bar has been raised. Getting an Australian student visa in 2025 is going to be tougher than ever. Financial proof and documentation. One of the biggest shocks for students this October is the financial requirement. Earlier, a student could show proof of around $21,000 Australian dollars for annual living expenses. But from October 2025, the amount is nearly $30,000 Australian dollars. And remember, that's only living costs. You still need to show funds for tuition, which can range from $20,000 Australian dollars to $45,000 Australian dollars per year, depending on the course. That means a typical student may need to show 60,000 Australian dollars or more in total funding just to pass the financial check. On top of that, bank statements must be at least 3 months old. Sudden large deposits will raise suspicion. Loans are acceptable only if backed by credible banks. Case study. In September 2025, a student from India had his visa refused because the bank statement he submitted showed a sudden deposit of 15,000 Australian dollars just 2 weeks before applying. Immigration flagged it as suspicious, claiming the funds weren't genuinely available for use. So the message is clear: if you're planning to study in Australia, prepare your financial documents early and make sure they look consistent and genuine. The Genuine Student Test, GST. This is perhaps the most important and most feared new rule of 2025. The old system required students to pass the GTE requirement, where they wrote a statement explaining their study intentions. But too many students faked it, often copy-pasting statements written by agents. Now, the new Genuine Student Test, GST, is much stricter. Some applicants will be asked to attend online interviews. Immigration officers may ask detailed questions about the chosen course, university, future plans, and even family background. Weak answers, memorized scripts, or hesitation could lead to rejection. For example, imagine being asked, "Why did you choose a master's in data science in Melbourne, and how does it connect to your long-term career?" If your answer doesn't sound convincing, you could fail the GST. This means students need to be better prepared, not just with documents, but also with genuine clarity about their education and career goals. Work restrictions and student struggles. One of the biggest attractions of studying in Australia has always been the ability to work part-time. For many students, these jobs help cover living costs, rent, and sometimes even tuition. But from October 2025, the rules are tighter. Maximum 24 hours per week during semesters. Full-time allowed only during official semester breaks. This is a big challenge because rents in cities like Sydney and Melbourne have skyrocketed, often exceeding 400 Australian dollars per week for a shared apartment. Students who relied on long work hours to survive will now feel the pinch. Many student unions have already raised concerns, arguing that these restrictions make Australia less affordable. But the government insists that education, not work, must be the primary focus. Impact on international students. So, how do these changes affect students on the ground? Increased visa rejections. Immigration lawyers report a spike in refusal rates, especially for students from South Asia and Africa. Higher costs. Families are now under pressure to show bigger financial commitments. Psychological stress. Students are worried about whether they'll be able to cope with expenses and restrictions once in Australia. Take the story of Aisha from Pakistan. She applied for a master's in business in Brisbane. Despite having strong academic grades, her application was refused because her statement of purpose was considered weak under the new GST. Or Rahul from India, whose parents sold land to fund his studies, but the sudden bank deposits led to rejection. These stories are becoming common, and they reflect how unforgiving the system has become. Universities and colleges' response. What about Australian institutions themselves? After all, international students bring in billions of dollars each year. Universities are worried. They depend on overseas students to fund their budgets. Some colleges are already reporting drops in new enrollments because of stricter visas. In response, many universities are offering more scholarships to ease financial pressure, partnering with immigration lawyers to help students prepare, lobbying the government to soften certain rules. But will it work? Only time will tell. For now, universities are stuck between their need for student numbers and the government's push for integrity. Australia vs. Canada. Canada in 2025 is still popular for its post-graduation work permit, PGWP, and eventual PR pathway. But Canada has introduced caps on student visas in 2024 to 2025 due to housing shortages. Many students are being refused just because of limited intake. Financial proof in Canada. You must show tuition plus 20,635 Canadian dollars, living costs per year, which increased in 2025. Australia has followed a similar path but is focusing more on the GTA, Genuine Temporary Entrant, test. Canada is focusing more on capping numbers, while Australia is filtering based on student intent. Verdict: Canada may still look more attractive for long-term immigration, but Australia offers more direct opportunities for quality students who pass the GTA. 2. Australia versus United Kingdom. The UK shocked the world in January 2024 by banning dependents for most student visa categories. In 2025, that rule still stands. Students can no longer bring spouses or children unless studying in research-level degrees. The UK also increased the minimum salary requirement for skilled worker visas, making migration after graduation harder. Australia, on the other hand, has not banned dependents outright but has raised financial requirements for dependents. It still allows family reunification if you can prove financial stability. Verdict: Australia feels more family-friendly than the UK, but its stricter GTE test means you must prove genuine study intentions. The UK is more career-focused but has tightened its migration door sharply. 3. Australia versus USA. The USA has always been strict about visas. The F1 student visa is purely for education, with limited work rights, on-campus jobs and optional practical training. In 2025, the US is still strong in STEM opportunities and top-ranked universities, but the H-1B visa pathway for work remains highly competitive and lottery-based. Australia offers a clearer temporary graduate visa, subclass 485, route after study, though its conditions are stricter from October 2025. Verdict: If you want world-class education and can afford high costs, the USA is unmatched. But for students looking at balanced study plus work opportunities, Australia is more achievable. Country 2025 student visa climate work after study dependent rules long-term migration path. Australia stricter GTA, higher funds 2 to 4 years, 485 visa, allowed with higher proof possible but selective. Canada visa cap, higher funds 1 to 3 years, PGWP, allowed strong PR pathways but capped. UK no dependents, except PhD, 2 years, graduate route. Mostly ban harder under new salary rules. USA strict. High costs OPT 1 to 3 years allowed but costly. Very competitive. Limited. Australia's rules are tougher but more balanced. Canada is attractive for PR but unpredictable due to caps. The UK is losing appeal due to dependent bans. The USA remains elite but expensive. So in 2025, Australia positions itself as the middle ground, tough, but still welcoming to genuine students. Now, let's look into the future. What will Australia's student visa system look like in the next 5 years, 2025 to 2030? More digitalized applications. Expect AI-based verification of documents. Fake bank statements and fake SOPs will be caught instantly. Visa processes will become faster but stricter. Higher English requirements by 2027. IELTS EPTE minimum bans may rise further. Authorities want to ensure only academically capable students enter. More focus on regional study. Australia is encouraging students to go to regional areas to reduce pressure on Sydney and Melbourne. Prediction: by 2026 to 2027, students studying in regional universities will get longer post-study work rights. Dependents will face more restrictions. Family visas may not be banned like the UK, but costs will rise further. Only financially strong families will qualify. Migration pathways will narrow. Australia will prioritise skilled migration through official occupation lists. Only students in high-demand fields, IT, healthcare, engineering, will find easy PR pathways. Universities will compete globally since Canada and the UK are tightening. Australian universities will expand scholarships and regional incentives to attract quality students. Start planning early. Don't wait until the last moment. Prepare financial and academic records at least a year in advance. Choose your course wisely. Select programs linked to your future career and possibly on Australia's skilled occupation list. Target regional areas. Consider universities in Perth, Adelaide, Tasmania, or Queensland for better visa outcomes. Maintain transparency. Every detail, from bank statements to SOP, must be genuine. AI systems will catch inconsistencies. Focus on skills in demand. Fields like nursing, IT, renewable energy, and engineering will remain in shortage. Tailor your study around these. Stay informed. Immigration rules can change yearly. Follow the Department of Home Affairs website and trusted news sources. Friends, the October 2025 update is not the end. It's just the beginning of a new phase in international education. Australia still welcomes students, but only those who are serious, well-prepared, and future-focused. If you're planning for 2025 to 2030, prepare wisely, invest in the right course, and don't fall for shortcuts. White Right Pointing Backhand Index, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more immigration updates. And comment below, which country are you considering? Australia, Canada, UK, or USA?